Forever. Dog.
When your first choice is a big old bus, you turn around and boom, you end up with a sloppy seconds. Oh, diva.
Our number is 213-536-9180. Our email is sloppysecondspot@gmail.com. Now on with the show. Are you ready for some sloppy seconds, you stupid little fucks, you nuts little fucks, you dumb little fucks? I'm Big Dipper and that's Meatball. Welcome back to Sloppy Seconds with Big Dipper and Meatball.
Hello. I have a question for
Hello.
you. Do they make adult bibs? Because, oh wait, you're frozen. Oh no, you're back.
You're frozen.
No, don't talk to me like I'm frozen. I'm fine. Do they make adult bibs? That's my question today. Are they just regular bibs, but you put them on an adult?
Yeah, you go to Red Lobster and they have bibs.
Because I spill food on my chest every single time I eat. Every one of my t-shirts has like an oil stain, a coffee stain, some sort of, like this morning I was drinking some green juice, stain. Every time I drink or eat or something. I don't think I know how to use my mouth right. Well,
I think you might be trying to get it in there a little too quick, and that's how it falls.
A little too eager.
A little too eager to eat. No, I mean, that's why I think I wear a lot of dark colors, because anytime I'm in white, I'm fucked. It's just stains.
I mean, today I'm wearing a light shirt. I'm wearing my Thickies merch. And I actually, the nice thing about being at home is that when the stain happened, I just went into the bathroom and literally my shirt was soaking wet, like a full circle of water, because I just put water and soap on it immediately. But I kept wearing it. I didn't take it off.
That reminds me, the other day I went to go drop something off at someone's house, so I was dressed like a complete slob. Am I still freezing?
You're glitchy. Are you on the good internet or the bad internet? I think she's switching to her 5G network. It happens every time, but she never does it. So it's every time. That's all. Well, I guess I could...
So anyway, I was in a bunch of shitty clothes. I was in sweatpants. I was in leopard print Crocs and a stained t-shirt. And I went and ran errands because I was like, well, I'm out. And I was covered in stains. I was so embarrassed. I looked like a mess.
Sounds like a serve to me.
Anyway, how are you doing today? You watching any movies?
Wait, do you have headphones in?
Oh my God.
Do you have headphones in, Paul?
No.
Do you remember that you have to wear headphones when we record our podcast?
I'm sorry.
Today, really. Okay, full disclosure, and then we're going to take a break and bring in our guest. Full disclosure, Meatball's embroidery machine broke this morning, and you've been on the phone for how many hours?
About 3 hours complaining with the company to fix it, and they refuse to take responsibility.
So, yeah.
So after this break, it's going to be right back to the regular show. We're going to have a wonderful time. My life is not a mess. I have it all together. And we have a wonderful guest who's seen me fall apart as a human being. Can't wait for the interview. After this break, buy a bed.
Welcome back! We are so excited to have with us a very special, world-famous guest. She doesn't really need an introduction. You know her from stage and screen, big hair, big dreams, the terminally delightful BenDeLaCreme!
Hello, hi. Thanks so
Hello.
much for having me.
And thank you for silently witnessing our chaotic intro.
I mean, it was honestly the highlight of my quarantine.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
The bar's low, right? Like life is really boring right now. So that was
Not
that
for
was
you.
like a treat.
You've got
life
a lot
can't
going
be boring
on.
for you right now.
I don't know, y'all. Listen, it's an emotional roller coaster. Every day, whatever I'm feeling, I feel like I've been feeling for the last 10 months. So it's like, I don't know. Do you guys globalize?
What does that
What's
mean?
globalized?
It's what my therapist tells me I do. It's basically when you feel like things are good, you feel like everything has always been good and always will be. And when things are bad, you have like the same feeling.
Whoa. No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My brain is not great.
I feel like I literally do the opposite in order to keep myself sane. Like when something is so horrible, I go like well, it's just this thing that is horrible.
Oh, well, that's like what my logical, like, that's what I have to force myself. Like, that's how I counter it. But like my natural instinct is like,
globalization.
Yeah.
Wait, so just to clarify, a lot of people, you go by DeLa for short because your name is in fact all one word.
Yeah, so BenDeLaCreme is the full name. It's like it's a very convoluted system that developed over many years, but BenDeLaCreme
Walk us
is the
through
full
it
name.
moment by moment,
Yeah,
year by year.
take us through the whole trip.
Well, generally, so DeLa is the short in drag. And then like Ben is my given name, which I like use day to day. But, I mean, it's drag queen world and drag queen speak. So everyone just calls me DeLa all the time, except for the man I live with who calls me Ben. Like most of the time, actually half the time he probably calls me DeLa.
Because you not only live together, but work together.
Yeah. Yeah. We live together, work together, quarantine together.
Talk about
And has
globalization. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. What is that like? Have you been together since the start of it, or did you move in together halfway through?
Oh my God. So here is how this story goes. So we've been together 5.5 years, and we both lived in Seattle, which is, where we met, sort of, except where we actually met was the Scruff app. But we lived like a couple blocks away from each other, and we started dating, but I was kind of on tour all the time, and our schedules were kind of opposite. Like at the time, he like woke up super early and went to bed super early, and like my schedule was the inverse. And so we just never moved in together because it didn't like matter. Like we liked having our own spaces. I Airbnb my place whenever I was on the road, so it was just like cost effective.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Did you leave wigs out for people to try on?
Oh no, I was so secretive about it being mine. Like I had a fake name, a fake profile picture on Airbnb. Like Jinkx Monsoon, she rents her place. Well, not now, but normally she rents her place like as like a Jinkx Monsoon themed Airbnb. It's called Monsoon Manor. It's this whole big thing. I'm like, I'd rather die. Like I do not want people to know that they're in my space. I'm very private.
My God.
But so we lived separately for years, and we kind of talked about moving in together, but it just was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're together all the time anyway. We have our own space. So we moved to LA in March 1st, we moved to LA. It was our first time moving in together in a new city. We went into quarantine March 14th, and we have not left our house since, except to go co-produce that film for a couple weeks in Seattle, which was also insane. So basically,
just that little film.
Yeah,
we're going to
talk about that little film in a second.
Well,
the Queen of Hulu, Miss.
But
Miss
like,
Queen of
if
Hulu.
you guys ever want to test, if you ever want to test a relationship, move in with somebody and then never leave the house again. It is.
Yeah, it's like ultimate
that's
nesting.
what I'm doing right now. It's insane.
What's your deal?
No, we moved in. We got this house right before it all
Didn't you
started
get it in
going
January?
down.
Like
Yeah,
right at
we
the
got
beginning
it.
of 2020?
Yeah, basically. Well, we had been in it for about a month. We had thrown our housewarming party was a Christmas party. That's how recent it was.
Yeah.
So then this all went down, and I was like, thank God we got out of a 1-bedroom living together. Like, thank God it's a big house. But I mean, it's been great. I have no qualms. It's a lot just seeing the same person every day. And now it's at that weird point where we just kind of do our own things for most of the day and then like come and hang out at night.
And I moved out of a roommate situation into a place by myself. So now I'm sort of like nesting by myself. But I got here like a few months ago, and that's when the numbers in LA just started getting so crazy. So I need a fair amount of things. We talk about this all the time on the podcast. I'm like, what one item of furniture should I buy next? But I want to buy stuff in person. So I'm just sort of like waiting in this like half furnished apartment. It's like, I have everything I need. I don't need a rug. So I'm going to like wait till I can go rug shopping.
When we moved in, oh my God, everything feels like, it's like, I want to say everything, and I'm also like preemptively bored by what I'm about to say.
Of course.
Because it's like this, you know what I mean?
We've all been through it.
But yeah, so when we moved, I actually was keeping my place in Seattle because I go back and forth there so much.
Right.
And it was just like, whatever, I Airbnb it when I'm gone. And then of course, like all the work dried up and Airbnb wasn't a thing anymore. And so we lost the place, but I had left all my furniture there. So all my stuff, like fortunately I had a friend who could put it all into storage for me, which was great. But like we were still living in this empty box with no furniture. We literally didn't have a sofa for like the first 2 months of quarantine.
Which is the
It was
worst.
awful.
That's what Dipper's dealing with right now.
I do have a couch right now, but when you're like, okay, I either sit in this chair or lay fully horizontal in a bed. These are the options. It sucks.
And I'm the same way as you. Like, I'm really into nesting. Like, my environment is like very, you know, so I want to shop in person. Like, I'm a retrophile. I want to like go pick through like cool vintage stuff and like love everything I look at in my home if I'm stuck there. And it's literally, you know, it's like all you can do is buy shit on the internet. And it's so hard to know what you're getting. It's all just, ugh.
It's very much like, Derek Barry recently posted, you know, that good old standby meme of when you see it online versus when you get it in person. So and shout out to her for this, she posted a photo of Tina Burner from season 13 in her Tin Man look and Derek Barry from season 8 in her Tin Man look. And she said,
with all the hems,
what it
she
should
said
have
there's a
been
hem here,
versus what
a
it
hem
was.
here,
Oh
a hem
my
here.
God.
I love when queens understand that they can be in on the joke. You're someone who not only can be in on the joke, you write the joke, you produce the joke, you put some slick filter on the joke, you also sell the joke to a streaming service, and like literally your holiday special with Jinkx, you
So
directed it, wrote it, self-produced it, and now it's streaming.
And built the set.
Right. I mean, you did.
Painted it.
Well, I was
I
in
know
there
they're a
because
team
like
of
that's how
people.
you do it. I did not hammer and nail that thing together myself.
No, yes, you did. Lie. Tell the people lies. Tell them you built it all by yourself.
I was in there painting until like 3 a.m. several nights in a row right before we started filming, which is like
Not
not
shocked.
anything I would like. First of all, don't star in and direct a film. Just don't do it. And if you do it, you know what? Don't stay up till 3 a.m. painting the stairs.
Well, we had Jinkx on the show to talk about the holiday special before it went to Hulu. It was sort of like this like promo moment when we were telling everyone go to the website, and then all of a sudden like that, it's streaming everywhere. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was really, I mean, I was not expecting that. It was very, it was really just like kind of a dream because it happened, like we released it on the website and it was this thing where when we started talking about doing it, we were like, okay, we want to like figure out how to get it up on all platforms. Like we've never done this before, right? And we only started doing this, like the thought crossed our minds in June, right? And that's not how like getting something onto a streaming service works. Like that is not the timeline, right? And obviously it's super competitive and everything else. So we were like, okay, you know what? We're going to self-release. This is how we're going to do it. If we make something that like endures, then maybe we can try to, you know, pitch it to something in a few next year or whatever. We were out for 2 days when we heard that Hulu was interested, which was like mind blowing. Like if you like that's definitely the most like affirming moment I've ever had with like an art making thing. Like, it was pretty cool. And I did not imagine it. And, you know, it took a couple weeks for like, you know, it all to get put through. There's a lot of technical things and a lot of paperwork. And then I didn't want to say anything to Jinkx until like the ink was dry. So it was literally like 2 days before it happened that I told Jinkx. But I called her, like I was like, can we FaceTime? And she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I just need to FaceTime with you. And I started it and I was like, Jinkx, I'm really sorry. I know that we wanted to sell this next year and we're not going to be able to do it. And I just like, and I like set this whole thing up and I was like, because we sold it this year. And yeah. Oh, but then it was like, right, because I wanted this big, like, explosive response from her. And instead, she, like, stayed upset because she still was, like, in the emotions that I'd set her up for. So I was like, well, that was a full-on failure. But
It's
not always how it looks on the sitcoms.
So you said that y'all started it in June. So how long did it takes the whole process? Because I'm so interested in how you did it.
Not long enough. It really was, you know, I really did not know what I was getting into. And I'm really glad we did it the way we did it. It's that thing where like, if you would have known, then you might not have done it. But I'm kind of glad, you know, it just was, it was like, we were just in it. It was like, shit, well, here we are. But because things like this are just not made in this amount of time. And fortunately, I was able to pull in, we shot in Seattle because that's where most of my resources are. And I was able to pull in a lot of people in the Seattle indie film world, which is actually like fairly established. And, you know, there's a lot of film being made in Seattle. But I had a lot of connections through friends, and I was able to bring on a lot of people who were much more experienced than I had any right to be able to get on board. And which was great because everybody worked super hard and was really, really talented and brought so much more to it than I could have dreamed. But I really just heard over and over again, like, how much this was not done in this kind of time frame.
And what do you mean? Just mostly about time frame? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just everything is like really intense and time consuming. And so basically we kind of like came up with the idea in June. Jinkx and I were like, well, okay, we're going to write a screenplay like faster than we've ever written anything. You know, we adapted some old material, and it started kind of as this idea where we were like, okay, like, let's pull some old material and like kind of weave it together and adapt it to screen. But very quickly I was like, that I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do like, if we're going to make a film, if we're going through all of this, let's make it the best thing it can be. Right. So we really like focused on like, okay, how is this a screenplay, not a script, you know? And then, so we busted that thing out kind of unreasonably quickly. And then it was just like, God, we went into pre-production, which of course is like hiring like a production designer to like work on the set, like getting everyone working on costumes, like started like hiring a director of photography, which is a DP, which never stops making me giggle. And, you know, we were like storyboarding the whole thing. It was just like, it was just like all day, every day work until we started filming. In September, we shot the whole thing in 10 days in September, which was a really, really, I mean, we were doing some 18-hour days.
Well, and
oh my goodness.
I feel like maybe you posted this or Jinkx posted this, or maybe from the movie's Instagram post, but it was something like, you know, note to self, don't shoot 4 drag looks in one day. Or whatever. Did that really happen where you had to bounce around because of the filming?
Oh, well,
yes.
Well, I figured that would happen.
In the movie, I was shocked. There was like costume changes that like y'all didn't even make a reference to. It was just like the camera moved and y'all were in a new costume.
I love
and
a throwaway
I was like, this
joke.
is exactly what we need.
I love a joke that you don't address. Like, I love not being precious with something. Like, I feel like some people, I think, like performers or whatever, like do the thing where they spend a bunch of like time or money on something and then they're like, I have to like now display it for as long as possible. I think it hits so much harder when you're like, boop, there it is, and then it's gone or whatever. Yeah. You know? Because then people are like, wait, what? You know?
One thing that I have learned and still continue to learn, especially as I work with new people, like you talking about having these, you know, indie film resources in Seattle. I assume part of the reason was maybe other productions weren't operating, and so people were like available. But I know for me, like when you meet with someone, you have a production meeting with someone who's like a total pro, and then they go like, and who's going to do this and this and this and this? And you go like, okay, there are 5 more jobs on this project that I didn't realize are jobs. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, we were so lucky. A huge like starting resource was Peaches Christ, right?
Of
she's brilliant. She's a super good friend. Like, we've become very, very close over the years. And she is also a filmmaker. Her movie All About Evil is like an incredible, fully produced film that I think a lot of people who haven't seen it, I mean, it's like shockingly good. It's an incredible like horror movie. It stars Natasha Lyonne. It's so good. Anyway, she was like, when I started talking to her about this, she was the one who really broke down like, okay, these are the departments, these are the jobs, these are the, so I kind of started knowing that. And then I have a really good friend, Wes Hurley, who directed the Capitol Hill series that I was in. It's a YouTube series. It's now on TV. Yeah. And he also just finished shooting his first feature, Potato Dreams of America, which is like his life story, like growing up in like as a queer kid in Russia. It's It's
Oh,
very
wow.
good. But he also just was like super, I mean, so generous, right? Like that's the thing is I feel like you find these artists who are really, really talented and good at what they do. And if you're really secure in your art, you have zero fear of sharing your resources and your knowledge, right? And so we were really lucky because I never would have known any of the things that had to be done. We very quickly realized that our budget was like needed to be like 4 times what it was. It was, but we were also lucky because like you said, it was like pandemic and, you know, I got to work with like an amazing group of people who I think agreed to do it within our budget because they were like inspired and thought it was really cool and worked super hard because I mean, and it was especially hard because we were all, you know, it was pandemic time. So like on set, like everyone had to quarantine for 2 weeks before we started. On set, everyone was covered in PPE. We had to have like a COVID safety supervisor who was like going around making sure everything was legit at all times. The cast and crew had to have separate spaces because the cast obviously has to be unmasked part of the time. So they're more vulnerable. It was really wild and really hard and it made everything harder than it would have been otherwise. But the feeling on set was like joyous. And I think it was because everybody was happy. Like we did not have time and we did not have money, but what we had was people being so excited to make this thing. And that's honestly the only reason it happened.
That's so cool. Incredible.
That's the
And I think it reads on camera. Like I think the thing feels joyous.
It was very fun to watch. I will definitely be watching it again. I had such a wonderful time. I think it's so interesting that like you have created this new lane for yourself. That's it's something that not a lot of queens are doing where you become your own like creative director and you take care of everything on your own. Is that like I don't know. It's just so inspiring to see you out there doing that. I just wanted to say that because it's so cool to see other like comedy queens working and making their own stuff.
Yeah, you know, and it's kind of me getting back to how I really started because I've been producing like theater stuff on, you know, smaller scale. I started like 14 years ago in Seattle. And this was how you do it out of necessity because you have no resources. Like I was building sets. I was hot gluing costumes together because I do not sew. I was making the props. I was doing all that stuff. And it was like literally like, you know, like staying up all night carving like backdrops out of like foam.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was that kind of thing.
I know exactly what you mean.
And then I continued doing that for a long time. So that kind of like full creative control was like a part of my pre-Drag Race life. And then I think like after Drag Race, you're sort of like, oh, wow, everything's bigger and it's like all these things and you start to kind of like outsource more. And at some point I was like, I miss making my own stuff. Like I'm not interested in other people's I mean, I'm interested in other people's visions being out there in the world, but it's not what I want to work on. Like I want to work on my stuff. And so I actually feel really like happy that I feel like I've gotten back to my roots just on like a larger scale, which is great. It feels really good.
Well, we have a question about your roots, but we're going to ask that right after this break. Do you want to improve your sleep? Well, listen up and get a Helix.
Whether you sleep on your side, your back, your stomach, Helix makes premium mattresses that are designed to fit your specific sleep style.
You know, now that it's spring, why not upgrade your sleep game and get a Helix mattress?
And you know what?
What?
I can guarantee you that they have a mattress for you with over 20 different styles and models for you to sleep on. I love sleep. I can't get enough of it.
And I love my Helix mattress. So ever since I got the big and tall, I know we go on and on about it, but it's a perfect fit for me. I haven't had a mattress before that I was able to select a model from, and I'm so happy I got to do that with Helix.
And I, too, have the big and tall model, and it's perfect for my big and tall body. I loved it so much, I got a second one from a guest room.
True.
Yes, baby. And the people are sleeping great in there when they eventually do sleep in there.
Best of all, Helix delivers right to your door with free shipping in the US, and you can get 120 night sleep trial to make sure that it's right for you.
You also get peace of mind because Helix mattresses are backed by a limited lifetime warranty and have been recognized by experts at places like Forbes and Wired and me. I am a sleep expert too.
Period. Go to helixsleep.com/sloppy to get up to 27% off site-wide during their Memorial Day sale.
That's helixsleep.com/sloppy, and make sure you enter sloppy seconds after checkout so that they know that we sent you.
helixsleep.com/sloppy.
Get yourself a Helix.
We all have days when we want to eat well, but just don't have the time or the energy to plan, shop, and cook.
That's exactly where Factor comes in. They deliver fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs right to your door.
With Factor, you can stay on track with your nutrition goals, whether that's high protein, balanced meals, or overall wellness, without any extra effort.
The meals are fresh, never frozen, and ready in just 2 minutes, which makes it easy to fit into your routine.
You know, I love coming home after a long day and having a tasty and filling Factor meal. It's waiting for me, and I don't have to worry about shopping. It's quick and easy, and one less thing I need to think about when I get home.
You know, I'm feral for fish right now, and I always get my fix with Factor. I recently had their scampi-styled shrimp and salmon, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint.
So get Factor today and start enjoying delicious and nutritious meals.
Head to factormeals.com/sloppyseconds50 off and use code sloppyseconds50 off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only, while supplies last until September 27th, 26. See website for more details.
That's factormeals.com/sloppyseconds50, like the number, off. Sloppy Seconds 50 off. Okay, something about me. I love shopping. If you love shopping too, you have to check out Rakuten.
And all you have to do is shop, 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 shop. And with Rakuten, you get cash back and rewards on almost everything you buy.
Exactly. Homeware, daily essentials, jeans. We're talking eBay, CVS, and even Levi's.
Ooh, so I can buy a vintage couch, tons of paper towels, and grab a new pair of jeans and still get cash back.
And that's not all. You can even stack those rewards on top of sales and coupons.
But Big Dipper, how does this magic work?
Well, I'll tell you. Rakuten is paid by partner stores to send them shoppers, and then Rakuten passes on some of that money to you, the member.
Rakuten is so real for that.
Plus, Rakuten has 17 million members who are already saving. Don't you want to become one of them?
Join for free at Rakuten.com or download the Rakuten app and start saving money now.
That's Rakuten.com or download the Rakuten app today.
Do you die?
Do you die?
Your hair? The root?
Oh, the roots. I was like, what? No,
Like
this
I was like, in the end?
in the end. In the end. No, okay, so here's my question. We're back.
We're back. Here's my question.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Wicked?
Yes, I have.
Can you do the ooh, ah, from Defying
I can't.
Gravity? Okay. Well,
I
There-
can't because I literally don't know what you're talking about because I forgot all of Wicked as soon as I finished watching it.
she's floating up in the air screaming Defying Gravity, and she lifts her broom and she gives you a go.
I could never.
Ooh,
It's like,
ah!
listen,
That's
Wicked
some art
was-
that you don't want to see in the world.
Wicked was a production that I loved watching because it's such a spectacle. That is the kind of musical music that makes me want to run into a heavily trafficked street. Like, I cannot stand that style of music. It's too much.
You know what style of music I enjoyed you bringing back was when you and Jinkx were singing in the round. You were singing over each other, and it was so good. And I was like, how, if I was ever on stage and someone else was talking or singing, would I continue to keep talking and singing? That must have been so difficult.
Well, you have to rehearse, Meatball.
You bitch, what?
Okay, so this is where we run into some issue with Meatball about the work and the rehearsal. No, I'm just kidding.
The work. I like to do the work.
No, you
the
don't.
rehearsal. I enjoy doing the work. The rehearsal is where I get very nervous that I hate everything that I've ever created in my entire life, and then I freak out.
I think that's healthy, though.
Yeah, you are really that person who, like, right before it's go time, you're like, this is all horrible. I'm gonna leave right now.
Yeah, and then I have to just power through it and put it out to the world and be like, hope someone likes it.
I think that's so important, though, because I think that, people who go around, like, who just have, like, a constant sense of confidence about whatever they're putting out there, like, how hard are they really trying, right? Like, you have to have a level of, like, constant panic in order to be upping your game and, like, trying, you know?
Yeah.
So this is my question about your roots. Meatball and I have said some inflammatory things on this podcast in the past about the art form of burlesque. In our mind,
what did I say?
Well, at least I feel like you agreed with me, but I very much feel like when I see burlesque, it's like, oh, you want me to take off my gloves? Do you deserve to see my butt? I'm like, just strip. If you're gonna strip, just strip. Like the whole tease thing, I'm not into it. Now, I know that you are very much entrenched in the burlesque scene. I see on your face, there's just so much.
Well, I'm also just like, I don't know. Some people aren't into like Thai food. It's like, who cares? It doesn't delegitimize it. Like, you don't have to like it, exactly. You know?
I think I've just been exposed to a lot of very bad burlesque.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, it's just like any art form. I mean, like, also, come on, how much bad drag have you seen? Most drag is not good inherently. It's like any other art form. It's like, well, it's just not. It's like
so
music
true,
isn't
though.
good.
That's the title
Painting
of the episode.
isn't good. Films aren't good. Like, they're good if they're good, you know?
Right.
So
yeah.
And most of every art form is not good or everyone would succeed at it, you know? And I don't, like, that's not a read. Honestly, I am impressed by anybody who's putting workout into the world.
Yes.
There's nothing I despise more than people having opinions about other people's art or work or performance who aren't actually like in the ring. So I respect anybody who's like doing it, but most art is like not great. So like if you dip your toe into any art form, the likelihood that you're not going to see the best of it is like high.
So do you feel like in Seattle you were more mixed into the like performing arts, burlesque, like show theater world than you were like the drag scene?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, all that said, all that stuff aside about, you know, whatever, like that remains true. But I also do love burlesque. Like I really did come up in the burlesque scene. I did not work in any sort of like drag scene very much at all. Like I occasionally popped in to like be the sub host at like this drag bar in Seattle. Like when they needed somebody to fill in for their host, I would like take the gig.
You weren't doing death drops at our place?
I was not. But like even so I was living in Chicago when I first like got exposed to the burlesque world. And but I will say,
oh, so you're a Chicago diva.
I was.
But you don't fight people on Twitter. You don't act like a Chicago girl.
Bitch, I'm from Seattle. No, I feel like Seattle is truly where my heart lies. But I'm not even, I mean, I grew up in Connecticut, which is why I'm so like fussy and people pleasy and like repressed.
Wait, so when did you move to Chicago?
I went to school in Chicago, so I moved there when I was like 18, and then I went to school for a little while, then I dropped out of school, then I hung around Chicago for a little while, then I moved
school,
to
right?
Art school. I went to the school, the Art Institute of Chicago, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, very, very fancy.
We love art school divas here.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing more, it's like, it's, I don't even know. It's like, I just feel like I'm so glad I caught on to the uselessness of a BFA before I bothered finishing. Like, you know, I am so grateful for my education there. And I'm like really glad I just kind of was like, okay, I got what I needed out of this. Bye. Like that was a hard decision. And I like felt really worried about it at the time. But I learned so much there that I employ in my work now still. Mm-hmm. But like I just, you know, whatever. I bailed before I had to do all the like math requirements or whatever. I was like, I mean, I still can't like subtract, but
you got a calculator.
Okay, but burlesque.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Ooh,
burlesque.
Our question.
Yeah.
Okay,
starring
here's
Christina
the thing.
Aguilera. Go ahead.
I really do. Oh God, no, Dipper. That film is
what I love about burlesque.
Whether it's a good film or not, there's just no burlesque in it. Like,
That
it's
is
like, it's
100%
Pussycat
true.
Dolls.
It's
Right.
Pussycat Dolls dancing around
I've
and
never
then them
made it-
fighting about air rights
I've
for
never
about
made
an
it
hour
all
and
the
a
way
half.
through. I've
The
never
only-
finished Burlesque.
The only thing remotely burlesque about that film is that they dance on those, what do they call them, cabaret chairs at one point.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
the
yeah.
wooden chair with the circular
Like
seat.
a wheel with Juicy.
Okay, we keep interrupting you, but you discovered burlesque in Chicago,
I
right?
did, yeah. So, I actually I think burlesque is an amazing art form in the same way that drag is,
Mhm.
but in some ways, burlesque is more like what drag was pre-Drag Race, right? It's like undiscovered, it's underappreciated, it's underground. It's like harder to dig out some of the best burlesque because you know what I mean? Like it's niche
Right.
and the rules are fewer, right? Like as drag becomes like a bigger thing, we see more drag looking more like other drag.
Yes.
Whereas burlesque is like it's still so regional. The Seattle burlesque scene looks different from the LA burlesque scene, looks different from the New York burlesque scene.
Right.
You know, it's I really think still has, and it's not that drag doesn't exist, obviously. There's a lot of like subversive, weird, cool drag going on.
Of course.
But I just feel like you find that more easily in burlesque because there's not like a different expectation. So
Yeah.
but when I started finding burlesque, I was working in Chicago. I was going to school and I finally like turned 21 and could start, like I'd been doing drag for a long time, just like in my own little world. But the second I turned 21, I like found the competition in town, which was Drag Race at Roscoe's.
Right? Yeah.
So this is what,
Ooh.
17 years ago now?
Yeah, they've been calling that competition Drag Race forever.
Yeah. So God, how old am I? Am I 39? 18 years ago. So I
Bleep it.
Bleep it.
So I'm proud of it. I'm super
Yeah.
proud of being almost 40 and still being such a weirdo with very little direction. But I so I went and I started competing, and I think they liked me because I was like young and full of energy and, sorry about it, very pretty. I was like way more like I was very pretty, you know, I had like the more minimal makeup, whatever. Like people, I was never trying to look like a quote unquote real girl. What does that even mean? But like
Sure.
I got that a lot, you know.
Okay.
So people, you know, so I went over really well when I first sort of entered the scene, and I won a couple of those competitions. And I started getting gigs pretty quickly, but it was almost immediate. It was like a lot of the places I was working, it was either like pageanty, ballady drag that was like very serious, or it was like top 40. And I just wasn't doing any of that, you know, and
What
people.
were you lip syncing like?
Well, at the
initially?
time, I had a totally different drag character. She was like a punk riot girl. Her name was Tina Angst. And like my first song that I competed to was Decepticon by La Tigra, and I did like a lot of like the slits and the raincoats and just like, I don't know, a lot of stuff like that, and like a lot of like peaches, like a lot of the, you know, like a lot of the oh my God, what's the fucking they only want you when you're 17? You know, it was like that genre. It was like spanning those genres. But
Okay.
so I was
can't
doing a lot of that.
imagine you being a little dark lady.
Yeah, well, I'm very versatile.
She is very versatile.
She has
and
the range.
Not to bring it back to the television program that was broadcast worldwide, but we did get a little.
We did see a little
gothy moment on All
Goth
Stars.
Kitty was fully a callback to Tina
Tina
Angst
Angst,
for
that's
me.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so I used to do all that stuff, and it was like at the time that just wasn't what was being done in the bars I was in. So people were like, didn't love it. You know, they were like, you know, and I also did a lot of stuff that was like, you know, people were doing kind of stand and deliver or dancey numbers. And I like tried to create little narratives and little stories. And people were like, what are you doing? And then I was living in the dorms at the time, and I met this person named Billy, who was part of the Chicago Kings, who at the time was this huge drag king troupe. And that's how I know Paula Dipper, who was our mutual friend.
Paula Abdul?
Yes,
Paula Abdul from the Chicago Kings.
Yes.
She was their movement coach.
So I started going and checking out King's shows, and they were doing this stuff that was so like, they were doing these solo numbers and then production, like big production numbers that were like stories, and they were political, and they were like feminist, but they were funny, and they were messy, and there were all these things that I just wasn't seeing in the drag queen scene. So I started performing with them, and I was like the queen in the Chicago, well, the drag. There were cis queens. There were cis female queens in the Chicago Kings, but I was like the one male-bodied drag queen. And it was so satisfying. I'm still friends with quite a few people that I met there, like who are some of my closest friends. And the overlap was that some of those queens or femmes in the troupe also worked in the world of burlesque. So I started going to these burlesque shows, and it was similar. It was also that vibe. They were storytelling. They were political. They were funny. They were doing things that I just was not seeing in drag. And that's how I got into it.
Did you do shows with Les Bobo the Clown?
Oh my God, yes. Amy Miller
Yes,
is like one of my
Amy.
close friends. I love her.
Amy
Les
did
Bobo?
Yeah,
Les
she was
Bobo.
brilliant.
And she would do balloon animals, and it was yes. And I there was a moment right in the like early aughts, or we had Ginny Lemon on last week, and she called them the naughties.
Naughties.
Yeah.
In the early aughts, when I mean the Chicago Kings, that was like rock star shit. That was like the ticket in the town, right?
Well, and so one of my still somebody that I'm very, very close with was is this person named Gwen, who was one of the Sissy Butch brothers, who was Chicago King adjacent, but they started producing this show a couple times a year called Burlesque.
Right.
And it got really big, and they did this huge show and this was when Margaret Cho was getting really into burlesque, and so she was like the headliner, and it was a bunch of it was like some of the best performers in Chicago, but it's also where I met Indigo Blue, who's a Seattle burlesque performer who ran like the Academy of Burlesque out there. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. But that's how I got connected to Seattle burlesque scene when I moved, was through Indigo. But it was like this huge event in this beautiful theater. And, and not only did they have these sort of weird, they had like a great variety. They curated it really well. There was like classic burlesque, what you expect, bump and grind, super bizarre, like edgy stuff. And then they had Margaret Cho, obviously. And then they brought in also, and this is some of my favorite stuff about burlesque, is they brought in this burlesque legend who sadly passed away a couple years ago. But she was one of my, so the legends in burlesque are women who sort of, not all women, but mostly women who performed like basically from like the inception of burlesque, which is as it exists today, like kind of like, it's not that old of an art form. But there's a lot of these women who are now in their like 70s, 80s, 90s who were these burlesque legends. And they still, sorry, I have so many tangents here, but
no, it's okay. I love it.
It's literally like seeing the legends perform is incredible, because these are women who were like pioneers and who were embracing sexuality in this like subversive way at this point where they were, I mean, obviously everybody's story is different, but you hear a lot of stories about sort of this underground scene where, much like what the drag scene was at one point, it was like you were reviled by many people, considered a pervert, considered an outcast. But it's this whole beautiful scene, this network of women who are kind of creating this sex positive word. They were working for themselves, right? There was a lot of, it was not, I mean, I would say even more than now, it like wasn't a super male dominated field in terms of like there were a lot of women in command, and then there were a lot of like fucked up things with men being dicks as well. You know, making money. There's always going to be like straight dudes making a dime off anyone, but
absolutely.
But these stories are like incredible, and so Satan's Angel is the name of the performer who I met. She was the first legend I ever saw perform, and she was in this Burlesque show. And she was like huge in the 60s, just this gorgeous, like Russ Meyer looking bombshell, like huge hair, cat eyeliner, like the craziest silhouette you've ever seen. And she, when I saw her, I think she was in her 70s. She had like sort of like all of her like sort of classic like, and you know, those costumes in those days, they were not like the plastic beads and whatever that were in, you know, they were like hand beaded, gorgeous gowns.
Glass,
and she had them
money,
exactly
expensive.
Yes, I want a dangly.
This 70-something woman had all those costumes let out to fit her. She had her huge 60s falls. She got on stage and she commanded that stage like nothing you've ever seen. Was she as like nubile and like movement oriented as she once was? Probably not. But she knocked back a full bottle of vodka by herself before she hit that stage. She went out, and Satan's Angel's gimmick in the 60s and still up to the day she died was fire tassels. And what that means is that when she stripped down to pasties, she had tassels that she would then get a martini glass that was filled with lighter fluid. She would dip the tassels in lighter fluid. She would light them on fire and she would spin them. And that was her gimmick. And she was brilliant. And she was such a rock star. Like, you felt like you were at a rock concert. She literally would just like, she was so vibrant and so present. She at one point saw like, and she was a huge les and she loved butches. And she at one point saw some like hot butch in the front row, and she like skids down on her knees, spins her fire tassels, like points to her crotch and goes, "Fuck me." That's literally what she said. And this is like, I mean, I'm like, who is this amazing woman?
That's my type of performer, baby.
And I have to tell you, Burlesque Hall of Fame is this annual event that happens in Vegas, not this year, but normally. And it's this big international competition. You see just like incredible performers. I've had the pleasure of judging a couple years ago,
cool.
which was a huge honor. But they just have some of the greatest talent from around the world, and they have a night called Legends Night, and it is all just these older women doing their classic acts, and they range everywhere from very like, you know, classically what you expect, but to see these much older women like really just putting all their sexuality right out there, and it's a reunion, right? I mean, these women all knew each other. They were all in the circuit. It is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
I would go to that. Legends
I would
Night sounds
see that.
good. I don't need to see any amateur burlesque. I'll watch amateur other things, but there's something about burlesque to me that's like, if you're not a pro at it, I'm not interested.
Well, we all
But
start
that's
as
hard to say
amateurs,
because
Dipper.
we all started like
yeah, and
not
I think
great,
other
and it's
people
like
enjoy watching amateurs. I just don't.
Totally.
I do. I like watching someone grow. I like watching the first 15 minutes of their performance, and then maybe like 10 years later, I'll watch the last 5 minutes of their. You know what I mean?
Dipper, you're like the burlesque equivalent of people who won't go see a queen who wasn't on Drag Race.
No, that's not true.
That's right, because he never comes to my shows.
That's out of that. I have to do self-care, and that my self-care is not seeing you perform live.
Well, we'll be right back.
Okay, we are back, and one big debate that is happening right now on the internet that I would like you to weigh in. It is Drag Race specific, but
and it is Chicago girl specific.
No, every opinion about anything is Chicago girl specific.
I check on what Bambi Banks thinks, Lucy Stool, and Miss Toto. Yep. I always check with the three of them first.
If you're looking for news, that's where to go. This is the debate. There's a lot of conversation about designers making clothes for contestants on Drag Race and it being a sort of smaller pool of the same designers, whereas, you know, you'll see an episode and you'll be like, oh, the same designer made 4 of the looks that are on the runway. and how much is the designer influence, how much is it the drag queen and a team of stylists that they put together. And there's this clip going around online of Raja talking about how amazing the idea of putting a drag outfit together from separate pieces, like how styling and your character comes through, and that in a lot of the newer seasons of Drag Race, it looks like they're showcasing designer talent or stylists dressing up the queens. So people are talking about that.
I had no idea. I had no idea this was so controversial, but
Well, I don't know that it's controversial. It's just people are conversating about it.
don't they know that people just stormed the Capitol? Pull it together, people. Get your priorities in order.
I think people are looking for 5 minutes of relief from the insanity of our world.
My entire Twitter feed is only people like rioters at the Capitol and the new Sex and the City series. That's all anyone is
That's
posting
all
about on
I'm
my Twitter.
seeing too.
It's
But
so-
my
I'm
question is the guy with the bullhorns, do you think he pulled that together from separates, or was that
that's
a
a good
Diego
point.
Montoya?
No, I would say that felt very. See, that's like maybe exactly what Raj was talking about. And it was like a really distinctive makeup look. So
Yes.
I don't know. I'd love to hear Raj's opinion on that.
Listen,
So
I
are you
don't-
curving? Are you
what's-
curving my question?
No, what's
I
the
don't
question,
understand
though?
what
Like,
the
what's the
pro- I
question?
under-
Like, what I think? Like, what?
Yeah, what you think? I mean, I think without being catty or getting into the nitty gritty, there are clearly some people who have gone on that show and just paid for every look, and
Yeah.
they're just wearing it, and it doesn't really say anything about them as a queen. And then there are other people who are basically showing themselves in a 360, and the culture of being on a worldwide television program has influenced people to be like, oh, I just got to buy all my costumes.
Yeah, I think it's any number of things. I think it's really too bad that there's so much pressure on queens to like have like expensive designery stuff on that show. I think that, I mean, we've certainly, it's like, I don't know. I think so much of what's like exciting about drag is that kind of like pull it all together, figure it out kind of thing. And now that's not to say, like, don't get me wrong, I have all my shit made. I don't make my own clothes.
You're
you know?
running around in custom
But-
all the time, Mama.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like, it's like the valuing of one over the other, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't think one is right and one is wrong, but I do think that there is like, right, like you watch Paris is Burning and they're creating things that look expensive and couture with zero resources.
Mhm.
And that is a tradition of drag. It's not the only one, but it's, I don't think that is as valued anymore. And I think that is like, unfortunately, this like, it's like this classist thing that's now built into drag where it's like, not everybody has the money to afford that. And that doesn't mean they're not a amazing queen,
Exactly.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm a costume queen. I like everything to match from head to toe. I do not do separates personally. I think that like I love when other people do it together. I think Willem is an example of somebody who does separates so well.
Mhm.
But for me, it's like I want the fabric on my dress to be the same as the fabric on my gloves, to be the same as the fabric on like on my headband, to be the same as and it's like that's to me that's like funny, and I like the look, and it's like very Hanna-Barbera, which is like one of my big fashion inspirations. And I don't know. I mean, I think people have their stuff made. People who have their stuff made either are like a clothing rack or they're like somebody who really knows what they want and have a vision. And I like to think that anybody who has like a really cohesive character and dresses their character in a way that always says, this is the character, this is the character, this is the character. Like, I have my stuff made, but designers hate me because I barely let them design. Like, I'm
more of a technician.
Kind of, and that's not for everyone. Like it's, but fortunately I found people to work with who are like willing to just kind of like execute my drawings or like stuff I send them. But like I pick all my own fabrics. Like I'm really like, I'm super anal and control freak in that way. So, I think there's that. And then there's the thing of like, here I am, here's my body, hang some clothes off of me, which I personally find less interesting, but hey, whatever. It's,
Yeah. And there's no way to say, that's a perfect way to wrap it up. I agree 100%. And there's no way to say if the person who paid for the designer actually had a say in it or not. So until I hear the person that they're complaining about say, if you have the money to buy it, honey, buy it. That's what I gotta say. If you're going on that show and you want to win and you want to look your absolute best and you have the resources, do it. But I don't know, make sure it looks like you or don't. It's not my life. It's their life.
But I think that's how you can tell that difference, right? It's if it's people are wearing stuff by different people, but everything they wear screams them and there's a consistency in the vision versus I know that a lot of these queens, it's they get accolades for coming out in something that looks drastically different from everything else they've worn. And I'm that's not quite as interesting to me. I want to see what your vision is and how you carry it through. But I'm a character queen and that's what I like,
Yeah, I'm a character queen. Some of these queens are literal models. That's that's the be all end all for them. So if that's what it is, I mean, Simone, clearly she spent a lot of money and stuff, but those are obviously inspirations that she's taken and made into an outfit.
She is beyond.
Isn't she the greatest?
I'm so into her.
I just wanted to say, Meatball, I feel like it's not clear that she spent a lot of money. It's clear she just knows what the fuck she is doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because just a couple of the looks she's turned out, they're not dripping in, we talked about, glass beads or expensive stones or whatever.
I just know a Polaroid is expensive. And that dress.
No, but it's let's talk about it. It's you zip tie or connect a bunch of Polaroids together. That's $50, that dress. You know what I mean? It's she wore the little
Howie B half cape thing. That was gorgeous, honey mama.
Of course, but those things, that to me is about her personality and her taste, and not she's spending $5,000 to get someone to build something.
Her vision comes through, and she's an example of somebody who's showed really different looks, but they all feel cohesive. I believe that is her vision. That Mama Said Knock You Out look is one of my favorite things I've ever seen, and the performance involved in it, that was so much of it. It's nobody threw this on you. This is not wearing you. You are giving me a full performance with this. This is clearly your vision, because nobody can go out there and deliver an outfit that they're not attached to in the way that she did.
She is the Ebony Enchantress.
That's it.
God, I love her.
All right, it's time.
She has not returned my DM on Instagram, by the way. She's the only queen.
Simone, we're calling you out right now on the air. You must respond to DeLa. All right, it's time for our final segment, which is called Fuck Talk.
There's that Wicked riff again that you pretend to never heard. This is the portion of the show where we ask our guests some uncomfortable questions about sexual relations that they may have had in the past, or they could tell a fun, crazy story. Dipper, do you have any crazy sex stories you'd like to tell?
No, I'm re-virginized. I have. What's that quote from that movie? I have seen. Is that an Ace Ventura quote? Anyways, you're welcome to share. Some people get a little uncomfortable here. I know that you are married, and you could talk about your sex life or not talk about your sex life. But I will say you put out quite a sexy music video as a part of the special, the Santa Fa La La.
Santa Fa La La La.
Honey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, talk about sex.
Now is that a departure?
One really hit. People
for
really
you,
liked that one.
What was it like being so sexy on camera?
Oh, it felt very. I mean, people. Whatever. It felt very normal. I've done burlesque for so long. I've done so many very dirty performances that people are I never deliver them to be sexy. They're always comedic, but but it's just whatever. I've been doing burlesque for many, many years, right? I've done many strip teases, whatever. So it actually felt like way getting back to my burlesque roots. And all those performers in that video, those are my burlesque people from Seattle, right? So it was just me and a bunch of people I've been friends with on the stripper stage for many years, just having a good time. It was actually really, really great. Yeah, it was fun. God, I am not, I by no means feel like I am, like Gus doesn't give a crap if I'm up here talking about whatever sexual stuff. So like that's like not an inhibitor for me. We're like whatever. But I don't know. I need like a prompt or something. I don't know where to go with this.
Like one time I was leaving a gig in WeHo and I was dressed up like a big baby with a poopy diaper, and a man pulled up in a car and said, "Would you like to get in?" And I did. And then he proceeded to blow me in Vaseline Alley, where all of my friends could walk by and see, while I was dressed like a big baby. Anything weird?
You were padded, were you not?
Yeah, so it was a swamp down there.
Wow.
It was the end of the night at Foo Bar, so I was drenched in sweat. Do you ever hook up in makeup?
In a baby outfit? No. Have I ever?
In that
no,
Santa
not
outfit?
really. I really, one thing about, like, I love that there's a lot of queens who like, getting getting down
Getting
and
their
drag
backs
is like
blown
a part
out
of their
in
thing.
drag.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting sex.
It's a beautiful tradition in our community, but but I personally, it's just like never been my thing. Like it's just like it's like there's nothing that feels less sexual to me than being in drag. Like it's like, your junk is all smashed up.
You corset up real tight.
Oh yeah, I corset really hard, and that's like, I mean, drag just like hurts. Like I don't want to be. I want to feel good during sex. I don't want to be, you know what I mean? Like it's just,
and you're like, the fabric of the dick has to match the fabric of my head, which has to match the fabric of my dress.
Exactly. It's too much, and the sequins really chafe. But I have, but there's definitely like a lot of really like, it's not that I've never been tempted, because there's a lot of really hot people who want to hook up with you when you're in drag, who you like. I'm like, suddenly I have access to tens when I'm in drag, and I'm like, that's a shame. Would you like to, would you like to see me like, naked and pale with my corset lines and my, like, does that sound good with my mascara running down my face?
How long does it take for corset lines to go away? I've always been curious about that.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
Just a continual
I've woken
process.
up and still had them on my side from like the night before.
Absolutely. Well, I've gone through phases where I'm corseting so tight for so long that I just fully have scabs, like line scabs, like down my middle. Yeah. It's not fun.
I had one corset that I was like, oh, it's always so uncomfortable. And I didn't realize that for the longest it had just been stabbing me. It had been like entering my skin and
when
coming
the bones
out.
break.
Yeah.
I've had that happen where a bone will break right at the top of like a solo show, and then for an hour and a half I'm just being like stabbed with this metal dagger and fully bleeding when I take my corset off.
Well, I turned to my boyfriend. I was like, hey, is there something in my back? And it was the fabric from the corset that had been ripped off was shoved into my skin. And he like pulled it out, and I was like, all right, well, I got to throw some duct tape on that baby. Those are expensive.
I want you guys to know that I'm really not avoiding the sex question. I'm just honestly racking my brain. And it's not that I haven't gone through, like,
What about like an uncomfortable, weird college sex story?
Like a hookup where the person was very
gone wrong.
weird, or they had an animal, or they were like baking a chicken pot pie or something.
Or they were like, don't go into that room, and then you go into that room because you think it's the bathroom and it's their grandma.
I mean,
that
thing.
has happened to me!
It did?
Yes. 100%. It wasn't their grandma, it was their mom, because I skew older, but it's same age bracket. Yeah.
Wow. So the thing is that I was kind of a slut in college, but I was also really drunk all the time. So it's hard to remember any of that stuff. I feel so boring.
One time in college, I met a guy at this rooftop party, but I had done so much cocaine that I couldn't come. So we just like watched a bunch of porn together after he came, and then he finally was like, I gotta go. And I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna happen. Isn't that sad?
Were you doing all of that on the roof?
No.
You just met at the rooftop party.
We met at the rooftop party and walked like 2 blocks to my house.
I have a question about drinking, because
are you gonna start doing it again?
No. But
do you want me to just tell you what it's like?
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious what it's like. No, for me, I'm always curious about, like, it's like you think about, when you drink too much, ultimately you end up throwing up. And I've had a lot of conversations with sort of like career alcoholics in their life, and they would say, oh, at the end of the night I would make myself throw up so I'd have less of a hangover in the morning. It's just like part of it. It's like it goes in and it comes out and like whatever. I always think about people having sex when they're drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it would be so easy to throw up on someone, whether you're kissing or anything.
I mean, when I was a younger amateur with like a less, I mean, I feel, wow. I'm like really, these are things I have not revisited. I certainly have not talked about in any sort of public forum.
Well,
but
this is
sexuality is a beautiful thing. I'm not ashamed. But there's definitely like a thing where when I was like younger and definitely like to hook up a lot more and like to drink, it was not like an unregular occurrence that your gag reflex would be triggered and you just kind of like hope he didn't notice and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just kind of like
swallow it back down.
Yeah. Like maybe, and I don't know. I don't know what that experience was like for my assumption is that they were drunk enough as well not to put it together. But who knows? I don't know.
I threw up a bunch of Cheetos on a guy's dick one time. Cheeto goldfish.
It was something orange.
It was something orange because it came up and tasted like cheese and
Did
tequila.
it fully come up or was it like a...
Fully came up all over him and he was like, what the fuck? And he had to take a shower to get it off. And then afterwards he came back to the room and I was like, so you want to keep going? And he was like, no.
Curious.
I would have given me
All
those
right.
cummies. I would have said, you know what? I'm going to shower your vomit off my dick and I'm going to bring it right back to your mouth. It's not like there was anything left in me. DeLa, don't give me that look.
DeLa
No, this is a look of approval and appreciation.
All right. Well, listen, we made it to the end of the show. We appreciate you for being here, being so open and sharing so much with us. What do you have to plug?
I'm, I mean, who freaking knows what's going to happen with this year, right? Like I've actually been like trying to map out the next few months. So I would, but what I will say is
I
that
would bet too.
the Jinkx and DeLa holiday special is, I think whether it's the holiday season or not, I still think that it's a pretty enjoyable watch. And it's like obviously very it's like focused on Christmas, but I think they're universal concepts. And I think it's I know a lot of people who've still been watching it, and it's still available at jinxanddela.com for rent or purchase anywhere in the world. Or if you have Hulu, you can see it streaming on Hulu. So I hope people will continue to check out the Jinkx and DeLa holiday special.
Yes. Okay, that's it. We did it. Thanks so much for listening to Sloppy Seconds. You can follow us on Instagram at SloppyPod. You can send us an email at sloppysecondspod@gmail.com or call in with your fuck talk story. Meatball, are you going to sing the phone number?
Yes, to 213-536-9180. You can follow us on Instagram at Big Dipper Jelly and Spiciest Meatball or me on Twitter at Fat Drag Meatball. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't ever miss an episode, which now come out every Tuesday and Friday.
I don't think you just need to say now. Oh, it's written there, but
I'm just reading the lines.
We've been doing it for long enough. Okay. Bye, DeLa.
Bye, DeLa.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Okay.
We didn't even talk about the time I stole your phone. No, your Instagram.
Your what?
I took over DeLa's
You didn't
Instagram.
steal it.
It was.
I
gift.
might.
It
I
was a
could
gift.
have. I could have.
I feel really, I'm like, I know that I've had sexual exploits
You're
in the
like,
past
I
that
know
are like,
I've had sex.
I've had sex before.
I
I
have
know
had
it.
sex.
well, no, I mean, I just can't think of anything that's like actually interesting, but I know it's happened.
Here's
It's probably
gonna
because
come-
we've been locked up in our houses for a year. We've forgotten all the fun things we used to do.
the other thing is.
Well, it's been a while. Like I have not been like I was like a madman in my earlier 20s, but
I will say, typically, when the world is open, I at least, and back when Meatball was single, have you ever been single while we did this show? Maybe in the very, very beginning.
At the
Meatball?
beginning, yeah.
I would come in with 3 or 4 sort of insane stories about not loving myself and the behavior I would engage in. And that would often trigger something from our guests' past. But as of now, we're sort of scraping the barrel with our memories of like,
Yeah, I feel like I've
thought
already
about
told that.
blowing my neighbor when I went for a walk the other day because I could see his dick in his pants, but I don't know if he's gay or not, and there's a pandemic. So, like, that's my sex story.
We're leaving all of this in.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's
Well, they were
press
saying
stop.
blowjobs were safe for a while, but that's probably not true with the new strain or whatever.
I mean,
They were saying as long as there's a glory hole, right? There was
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
actually
that's
sanctioned.
real. I mean, it's
But then
about
where are you going to
droplets.
go to find a glory hole? Or like what? I
You
got to
would have
make a
to
glory
set
hole
it-
now?
Set it up with a person.
Yeah, I mean, that's not, you just cut a hole in something. It's like, that's,
Right.
You
And
can
you say,
manage
you
it.
wear a mask and I'll suck your dick and we'll have a wall or a sheet between us and no droplets from your mouth will go to you. And
or you can
know.
have a designer create it if you're uncomfortable doing it.
Okay, let's end. Let's stop.
Doodle-doo-doo, forever dog. To listen to Sloppy Seconds ad-free and 1 day early, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcast.com/plus.
Sloppy Seconds is produced by Forever Dog and Moguls of Media, a.k.a. Mom.
Hosted by Big Dipper and Meatball, music, editing, and sound design by William Pitts.
Executive produced by Will and Bella, Alaska Thunderfuck, Joe Cilio, Brett Boehm, and Alex Ramsey.
Our artwork was drawn by Christian Cimarroni.
And our theme song was written by Mike Malarkey.